Cody finished the story.
No bloody time.
Damian Priest cashed in,
No bloody time.
and Mommy's still on top.
No bloody time.
Welcome to DA Wrestling WrestleMania review. We are here on the Monday after WrestleMania. We have both watched both nights. Was
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Totally couldn't do it last night, everybody. Unfortunately, your
Super late.
old frail Uncle Andrew had to go to work at like 6 a.m. this morning. So
Although, I mean, to be fair, I mean, the main event was over by like 10:30.
it was actually, which is actually quite surprising.
10:40.
Yeah, quite surprising. But like I said, Uncle AP over here decided he had to go to bed because up at 4:30 in the morning was coming real quick.
It's your boys, Doug and Andrew, as always.
Ha
So Andrew, do you want to just start with night one?
Let's just start first with make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. Make sure you follow us on Podbean and Spotify and all those other things. Also on YouTube as well. And one more thing. I won the competition. I picked. I won. I got more matches right than he did. Mind you, like the tag match, he had a .5, so that could have done an old Uncle AP over
I
here.
want you to start keeping track, and maybe we'll pick up like a styrofoam belt or whatever we can trade back and forth.
Well, you won the last one, which was the Rumble.
I won the Rumble, so you won
I won
WrestleMania.
Mania.
So the next one we'll get a styrofoam belt, and
so
I'll
we're
I'll hold it on my shoulder.
so we'll
Like,
do this like every pay-per-view.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So next one will be Payback. No,
No,
sorry, Backlash.
yeah, it'll be Backlash the beginning
Backlash.
of May.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that. And hopefully we can debut that title. Might be on cardboard, might be on something, might be something cheap for now. Who knows?
You're near a Target, aren't you? Or used to be. Target
Ain't
used
no,
to be there.
there ain't no Target anymore. Crappy tire though, for sure.
Walmart might have them.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Walmart,
Yeah,
I think Walmart definitely has them.
Walmart definitely has a toy. Or Toys. I'm actually buying Toys R Us, so they probably have a better option.
Oh yeah, true. Okay.
I'm buying Toys R Us right where the Walmart is, right beside Walmart. So yeah,
So
that works out perfectly well. But let's start off with night one.
Motionless in White playing Mommy to the ring, and I mean, I'm not. Maybe I just haven't listened to enough of Motionless in White.
I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, I know there's a lot. Like, they have a massive following of people. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people like this band. Um, I
but they
like.
sounded they sounded wicked live.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The only like, the only thing with Motion with White is to me is just like some of their songs to me are just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the newest kind of metal nowadays. I'm more of a metal, like thrash metal guy.
So
Metallica, Lamb of God,
so it's more of like a melodic.
Corpse.
It's more of a melodic metal, like along the lines of like a
I would
an
call. I would
Avenged
prefer.
Sevenfold,
Yeah, see, even if it's simple, I've really got into till
a
like
bullet for my Valentine,
on reverse.
Falling in Reverse.
Yeah,
Actually, I see both of those get compared a lot. Falling in Reverse and Motionless in White.
they sound a lot the same.
Yeah, they do.
Like they're definitely like they sound like they're really good live. To be honest, they sound like a pretty decent live. Like I wouldn't like if they're playing with someone like I don't know, like say like they're open for like Metallica, and I would go. And I would probably go watch their
Oh
show.
yeah. Oh,
Like, if
absolutely.
you're playing something like oh I like want to see like say Lamb of God or Kill
No,
Switch Engage, all those guys, I would definitely go see them and I'd
I
probably enjoy
know
it.
I know this a little off topic,
Sure.
but that big show that Metallica did in Toronto a number of years ago, like maybe like
A couple years
20,
ago.
maybe 2014, 2015.
Oh no, those one earlier. Those one recently, 2021.
No, no, I'm talking like because I was working at the strip club at the time.
Okay, which one was
Uh,
this?
I think Avenged Sevenfold opened for Metallica
Might have.
at the Dome.
They've had a few openers over the years. The last time I saw Metallica, I was in Vancouver.
Okay.
Some kind of some kind of monster. The Metallica movie they made. They basically played the whole movie was based on like their songs. So each scene was almost like one of their songs.
Yeah, yeah,
That was filmed in Vancouver. I
yeah.
was there for both two of the shows.
That's cool.
So I was there. I'm actually like when they pan around the crowd, I'm somewhere in that crowd, close to the Canucks. Where the Canucks would be at home ice, like where they were home, where their net would be at home ice.
So just to wrap up this really quick music
Yeah,
conversation, is there a band on your bucket list you have never seen
Lamb of God's on
that's
my Lamb of
that's
God,
still
Kill Switch
performing
Engage.
today?
Lamb of God is on the list. I wanted to go see Lamb of God with Pantera, but nobody
Oh,
else wanted
that's
to
right.
go. Nobody
You
else wants to go.
asked me to go to that with you.
At least other people that I know don't want. I mean, I have a few people I probably could go, but yeah, I Lamb of God's on that list. Kill Switch, but I'm not a big fan of like, the lead singer Jesse. Like he's the original lead
Yeah,
singer. I'm more of the Howard Jones era.
so actually I came across this new band called Oni,
Okay,
and
yeah,
they have a single with Howard Jones,
you guys are a wicked fucking
and
vocalist.
the dude still can wail it at like 52 years old.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, and no, he's also diabetic too. I think
Oh,
he was
I
born
did
with.
not know that.
I think it's a diabetes. He's like takes insulin dependent. He's been doing it for years actually since he was like a teen, from what I understand.
That's crazy.
So,
I never knew that.
so
But
I'm not. Don't fact check me on that one. I'm not too. You can fact check me all you want in the comments down below, but I think it's diabetes. I'm pretty sure, but he
I will
definitely has
say,
something.
I will say, just to give my answer to this, the if I ever go to another concert, it would have to be Avenged Sevenfold.
I go see them. I'm not the biggest Avenged Sevenfold fan, but the album "Hail to the King" was the one that really kind of opened my eyes to them
So I've been
because
listening
that's a
to
sick
Avenged.
solo.
I've been listening to Avenged Sevenfold since about 2006.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Well, yeah, yeah. Their debut album was like 2003.
Yeah,
But I started listening on their second album because to tie it back to,
wasn't that Backcountry?
yeah, our music and video games
Yeah,
episode we did on Halloween,
yeah, they
uh
were on
NHL 06,
as well
Guitar Hero,
as
Beast and the
well
Harlot.
as NFL Street 3, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I'm
But
playing
yeah,
that right now.
so Avenged Sevenfold would be the last one on my bucket list.
That's kind of how I got into Lamb of God.
So I appreciate the detail from Becky in her entrance
Yes.
where like literally she had like pages of her book as part of like the jacket.
Hmm.
Like the little frills she had was actually pages.
Yeah, I need to get to Indigo and pick up that book.
Well, when you go to Indigo, you should go to the one by my house and come see me.
Wow, wow. Oh, that's why that's the one band where Sobeys is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We go to that.
Um, but yeah, so uh the match itself, really good opener. Um,
Excellent opener.
and it turns out it was reported that Becky Lynch
Mhm.
actually went into this match with strep throat and she played the Jordan flu game
Oh, okay.
as she had a 102-degree fever.
Really?
Yeah. And you wouldn't have noticed if you weren't told that because she went in there and she put on a Mania quality performance.
Yeah, I think I chose I didn't take Becky to win that match. I figured Rhea would win because I figured, as I said, Rhea deserved I needed more. I think I just as a
Sure.
passive the thing, but I think might seen the last of Becky Lynch for a little bit. I don't know. We haven't seen the rest of Raw hasn't come on the rest of it yet. So She might still be on there.
Possible, but I don't know. I think, you might obviously like if she's dealing with strep throat, like,
Oh
just
yeah, for sure.
actually somebody I think is gonna take some time off. We'll talk about because he was part of the main event Saturday.
Yeah.
But um yeah, so after that, I believe was the six-pack ladder match.
It was the 6 pack challenge. It was, yeah, 6 pack ladder match. So,
And it was just as crazy as y'all would have expected.
oh yeah.
Tons of high spots, people going through tables. Grayson Waller went through a ladder.
I can't believe that they put the fucking SmackDown titles on those
But
two monkeys.
at the end of all of it, A Town Down Under, which is still a really stupid name.
I can't believe they gave those idiots fucking titles.
Waller and Theory are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and like I called literally at the Royal Rumble,
Mhm.
Awesome Truth won the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
I know we both had New Catch Republic winning the SmackDown titles, but I mean, by the way, we I think the craziest spot of that match was the white noise or air raid crash that Ciampa gave Tyler Bate off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, I can't believe he did that. For a guy
I mean,
who has a history of neck problems, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
I mean,
If I could sum up,
oh, and Johnny doing the what? Through
yeah,
through the table.
to was it
The,
Pete
the,
Dunne?
yeah, to Pete Dunne, the two beats or the two heartbeats, what it's called.
Yeah, he it was like a springboard tornado DDT through a table set up on the outside.
Oh yeah,
Like, so I had my nephew over for Saturday,
yeah.
and like even he was like, "Holy shit!"
Mhm.
And I think those are the two words that perfectly sum up both nights of WrestleMania. Is
Oh yeah.
holy shit.
Oh, it was disgusting.
I think I texted that to you about 10 times throughout the 2 days. Is holy shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I texted that to you like every other text we exchanged.
It
Uh,
was it was nuts. That was insane. Uh, insane match.
um, after the six-pack challenge, what did we have?
I just gonna challenge like correct was Mysterio and Andrade match versus Dom and Santos.
Who won with help from recently retired Eagles legend Jason Kelsey and Eagles legend Lane Johnson.
Oh yeah,
Now, you're a football guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Lane Johnson was a tackle, right?
still is a tackle.
He still is a tackle. Okay.
He protects Jalen Hurts blindside.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, with you like that. I mean, that was a so back to just a throw to Philly fans. So
Yeah,
was.
totally. But I mean, can we admire the fact that a center, which by the way, usually in the 300-pound range, Jason Kelsey literally just leapt over the top rope like he was the fucking macho man.
Oh yeah, like
He leapt over the top rope like he was a fucking cruiserweight.
well, that guy's athletic as hell. Like he really is. Like
For a big boy, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
he is definitely athletic as hell. Like that guy knows exactly what he's doing. And you know what?
Oh,
The Kelseys in
one,
general have been ridiculous, I think.
two spots I want to talk about in that match.
Sure.
Andrade with the sickest Judas effect I've ever seen in my life. That shit was so loud. I thought he killed. I thought he killed Dom
Wow.
or
It's it,
Santos, whoever he
it's
hit
it's
with it.
it's it's easy to kill Dom.
I thought I don't remember which one took it, but whether it was Santos or Dom, I thought Andrade killed him.
Wow.
And then, of course, Joaquin Joaquin Wild getting launched.
Yeah, he made some air.
He got some hang time.
Oh yeah, he got some massive hang time. That man, he for that middle rope, Jesus.
We didn't get the Carlito turn.
No, I was expecting that a little bit of Carlito turning that. I was actually a little surprised, to be honest with that. Santos did not win,
Mm.
and Don didn't win. I mean,
Oh no, Ray and Andrade don't need it, but
no,
here's the thing. At the end of the day, you have to understand at the culmination of stories, you're usually going to have the good guy go over,
yeah,
unless the story's continuing.
yeah. Well, this one here, well, we'll we'll
Well,
we'll we'll, we'll talk about that for after night two because a good guy won on night two, and we'll see what happens to that one. But we'll
mm,
get back. We'll get to that one on night two. We'll get to do that
yeah.
part. All in all, it was like all right match. It wasn't like crazy. I mean, look, it's Rey Mysterio. You know what you're getting with Rey Mysterio. You know what you're getting with Andrade. Uh, I just think the wrong guys won, but that's whatever.
I think it was a perfect come down match after um I think it was a perfect come down match after that ladder match.
Yeah.
The
Well, after that
pacing
come,
the pacing of these two shows, fantastic.
well, after that come down match, we got a backup match with Jay versus Jimmy, which was actually not as come up as we thought it was going to be. But quite honestly, Jay versus Jimmy was rather disappointing.
Can we argue that it was the worst match of the weekend?
Yeah,
Common thread I saw, and yeah, you can go back and watch the match.
mhm,
The common thread I saw is
yeah,
like it's really hard when you have two guys that have identical move sets.
yeah. They've also been tagging for years, right?
Yeah, and so I mean the right guy won. Okay, Jay went over Jimmy. But yeah, it's Jay won, cool. But yeah, I
Oh, there was other factors in play. I'm not too sure. Maybe it'll come out eventually. But it wasn't that great. But we moved on towards after that to the Bel Air debuting Jade Cargill and Naomi versus Damage Control.
and we all knew who was winning.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Uh,
it was basically almost now again, I'm kind of glad Bianca doesn't use the ponytail as often as she used to,
thank God.
because it when she hit Oscar with it towards the finish, I was like, holy shit, I haven't seen her do that in a while.
Yeah,
And yeah, lo and behold, like I mean, she hit the KOD on Oscar, and Jade eventually hit Jaded on Dakota Kai.
yeah.
Um, to pick up the win. And I mean, it was a fine match,
Right.
but I think the bigger purpose is served, and I'll get into that when we talk about Bailey and EO on night two.
Yeah. After that though, we went to I guess the the third main event of that date of that night. The IC title match. Gunther
Okay,
versus Sami Zayn.
so yes or no? When they did the entrance for Sammy, where he was talking to his wife and his kid, and then he's walking up the ramp, hyping himself up, and he runs into KO, did you still think he was losing?
No, I knew right. Well, as soon as I saw him with his wife and kid, I automatically knew he was winning.
Yeah,
I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, he's winning.
and I would say this is probably the third best match of the whole weekend.
It really, they really played the story of how Sammy couldn't, they like it looked like Sammy wasn't ever going to win because he got the shit kicked out of him.
But you know what? I love the story that they told here because like Gunther, who had been overconfident throughout the whole thing,
Yeah,
the whole
rightfully so.
Yeah, the whole build-up, Gunther was overconfident. And even during the match, he was fucking toying with him.
Yeah.
And Sammy pulled out a move that I don't believe he's used in WWE at all. With that top rope brainbuster.
Oh yeah,
That used to be his fucking finish in Ring of Honor.
but he was El Generico.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly El Generico.
When Sami Zayn was allegedly El Generico.
It's bloody El Generico.
Listen, we all know, but the inside joke is that El
Yeah.
Generico retired to an orphanage that burned down and he
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the running joke.
that's the lore of El Generico
Yeah.
post 2012.
Something like that, yeah.
But Sammy hits the top rope brainbuster, two haluva kicks, and he won.
Yeah.
Really good moment. Um, I think it was the right time for Gunther to lose. I'm gonna tell
It,
you what I'm gonna tell you what's coming up for Gunther.
it's a little debate again.
What's up?
I'm not disagreeing with you saying it's the right time for him to lose, but it could also be debatable that it wasn't the right time for him. It all depends on how you look at it and what you see with Gunther going forward, or what people see with Gunther going forward. Going forward, I'm expecting him at some point down the road now to take a little bit of a break and then to challenge Cody somewhere down the line.
I don't even think he's challenging Cody.
You don't think
I
he's going
think
to challenge Cody?
no, I don't think he's on that level yet. He's just graduated to the co-main event spot. That's what him losing the title means. He just graduated from upper mid card to co-main, which is like the world heavyweight title picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where Gunther sits now.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Now, obviously, I haven't watched Raw yet. I don't know if Gunther's on the show. Um, I don't know if Gunther's on the show. So, but you know what? When we talk about Seth and Drew, I'll bring Gunther back into the conversation.
yeah. So at the end of the
Which,
day, yeah.
go ahead.
At the end of the day, Sammy won that match. It's nice to see Sammy finally get a title in WWE. That's a singles title in WWE as
Well,
part of
he's
the
a
main
four-time Intercontinental Champion, by the way.
Oh, I keep forgetting
He
that.
won. He won three during the pandemic.
I think it's because I forget because it's like it was the pandemic. It was very forget. Some of the stuff was very a lot. To be honest, the pandemic was pretty much focused around the Fiend and
Yep.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, like the early, like he was Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania 36. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah, exactly.
That's why I forgot.
No, no, and that's fine. I'm glad to be the kind of historian of the two.
Well, I have my historian moments too, but mine tends to be older, like much older.
That's fair. Uh,
Uh,
which brings us to the biggest tag match of all time.
Biggest tag match, pretty much lived up to the hype for what it was.
Honestly, awesome.
It was great.
It was the second longest. It was the second longest match in WrestleMania history.
Yep.
At 44 minutes and 38 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a stopwatch type of guy, but like that stuff kind of interests me. The only other match that's gone longer than that is Brett and Shawn at WrestleMania 12,
Yeah.
which was the Iron Man match. This match had everything. The Rock taking a rock bottom through the table through the announce table,
Yeah.
immediately followed by Roman spearing Seth through the barricade.
Yep.
This had like, and to the best of my recollection, like no interference either.
No, it was literally strictly just those four guys, and that's it.
And the only way there was like a little guideline, and I love The Rock for this, by the way. There was a little leeway with the rules, is
He really threw his weight around that match.
The Rock, like very early in the match, the ref started counting as if it was going to be a count out.
Yeah.
And The Rock pointed at the ref. He said, you know The Rock, and if you keep counting, I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
And it also came into play when Roman had Cody in a guillotine.
Well, it also opened up the fact that basically letting everybody know it was no holds barred for the most part.
Yeah, after that, it was no holds barred.
Yeah. Like it was probably should have been just like a regular match, but then turned into no holds barred. And
It
I'm
was
okay with
basic.
that.
It was basically a tornado tag, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like they would basically just get back in just to like tag a legal man.
Yeah.
And eventually it came down to Cody and Rock, and Rock hit the rock bottom, people's elbow.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, Rock pinned him in the middle of the
Also,
ring.
but he did also whip the hell out of like a government mule and went out Mama Rose for a little bit too.
He did.
He played a really good heel in this, and he
The Rock the
really soaked it up on this.
the Rock delivered
He did.
for somebody that hasn't had a real match since WrestleMania 29,
Mm-hmm.
11 years ago. He looked just as good this weekend as he did in his prime in like 2001.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't. You could tell he really worked on everything while he was gone. They really made it look like he played a hell of a good heel. He's been playing a hell of a good heel. Like this version of The Rock now, if you want to call it, I don't want to say it's like a Vince McMahon replacement because I don't know what's going to happen with that. But he's calling himself now the final boss.
And he
It's
is.
and to be honest, with you, depending on how this goes, we might see a new version of a Stone Cold versus McMahon, but this time it's Cody versus The Rock. We might be seeing that. This might be the startings of this because of this because it's not really similar in how it started. It kind of is because when McMahon when Austin was going for the title against Michaels,
Mhm.
they asked McMahon about a couple weeks beforehand because if you want Stone Cold to be the world champion, and he basically flat out said it's an emphatic hell no. So and that's kind of where it slowly started building to the
Yeah.
whole Austin McMahon. And this is almost like how this is starting to. It's almost like, but this time The Rock got involved first early, and now it's becoming almost like a Cody versus The Rock. So
He
time will tell it to me if that's how it's going to turn out.
I saw a clip of an interview The Rock did over the weekend.
Yeah,
I don't know who was interviewing,
I know a child
but
interviewed him.
they looked to be in a skybox at Lincoln Financial Field
Mm-hmm.
because you could see the WrestleMania set behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And The Rock explained how this all came about.
Yeah,
He called Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan in January,
yeah.
and he said, you know, let's give let's give the people what they've been asking for a number of years. Let's give
Mm-hmm.
them Rock and Roman.
Yeah.
And when they started going in that direction, instead of staying the course like they totally could have,
Yeah.
and they have in the past, they finally listened to the fan base. And The Rock came back to them and said, look, the fans clearly want Cody and Roman. We can do that. But with a twist. What if The Rock goes heel? Enter Final Boss. Which, by the way, The Rock had the third coolest entrance of WrestleMania. And I'll talk about the two coolest because it was both main eventers of night two.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think I think with like The Rock going, like, to be honest, with you, this definitely it was stated a lot over the past, especially night two, which we're getting into very shortly here. By the way, Rock and Cody win, as we said there, and it goes to Bloodline rules, which I think a lot of us called.
Mhm.
I don't think there was a debate it was going to be Bloodline rules, but a lot of people, the big theme, especially for night two, was a new era.
New beginning.
You get a new era, new start, fresh start, whatever you want to call it, whatever you choose to call it, that's what it's going. That's what it is.
Actually, that's a perfect segue
Yeah,
because Stephanie McMahon was here to open up night two.
she did.
Nobody has seen or heard a word from Stephanie McMahon since
Was
announced her.
partially.
She announced her stepping away when Vince forced his way back in early last year.
I feel the relationship is broken.
What's that?
I feel the relationship with her father is broken.
I don't even want to speculate or get
I,
into
I,
that.
don't, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, but I just feels broken.
I don't even want to
But
speculate. But
still good. Still
she
good.
gave she gave kudos to her husband. And you know what? A lot of people did this weekend.
Yeah, a lot. Well, we said new era or new beginning or fresh start, whatever you want to call it. These guys, they were all. This is the Triple H era.
Yep, this is the Paul
Uh,
Levesque era.
as Paul Heyman said at his Hall of Fame induction speech on the Friday, I am a Paul Levesque guy.
Yeah.
I'll kind of play on being a Paul Heyman guy. Um, by the way, that was his. Out of all the speeches, his was probably the most interesting out of all of them. Like to my family, was the most fun. But I didn't really get a chance to watch it, but I did get to see parts of it. It was quite good. But anyway, a lot of pace for Triple H, and rightfully so. This was night two. Night two was a. It's almost like you want to call. Okay, night two to me was kind of like in the NFL, right? We were the AFC NFC Championship game. It's Championship Sunday, and that's kind of what they did. I mean, yeah, they had the title matches or so, a couple title matches on Saturday, right? But yeah, most of the other ones on Sunday.
Can I offer just a quick little
Sure,
revision to this line of thought?
sure.
I would look at night one as Championship Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at night two as Super Bowl.
You can do that too.
Because you think about it, the biggest match WWE is going to have all year is always the main event of the last night of WrestleMania,
Very true.
which the biggest football game of the year is the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
And you can think of the other matches as like the 8 hours of pregame.
Or playoffs.
Good. But yeah, night two kicks off with
Oh, great.
Drew, Drew and Seth. And this match was awesome.
Did you have you seen, I know CM Punk doesn't tweet anymore that often nowadays, but did you see what he posted?
We'll get to
Just
that.
trolled you.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Just trolled
So
the man.
just to remind everybody, CM Punk was on commentary for this.
In a
Yeah.
suit, by the way, in a suit and tie. I was expecting him in just like a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, but no, we actually a
No,
full
no,
suit.
no. When he commentated when he was hurt,
Yeah.
like all those years ago, he was in a suit every Monday night.
Yeah, full fit suit.
But yeah, he was donning a nice three-piece.
Yeah, it looked nice.
Um, by the way, did you notice a lot of Eagles representation on this
Yes.
WrestleMania? A lot of
Yes.
people wearing the Eagles
Yes,
green.
yes, it did. And being a Cowboys fan, it kind of sickened me. Like I didn't mind a little bit of it. I just didn't, right? Because I was like, okay, like because like I don't mind the Eagles. I don't mind the Eagles.
So I guess
I
you didn't find Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson as cool as I did.
I could care less.
I know, because they're Eagles.
I mean there's nothing against Lane Johnson and Jason
Jason Kelsey.
Kelsey. Nothing against them. No, I just they're good players. Like Jason Kelsey is probably a top as probably his entire career was a top five center. His
Yeah,
entire
for
career.
sure.
Lane Johnson is easily a top five tackle in the
Yeah,
league, and he has been for a long time.
yeah.
So it has nothing to do with those guys. It's just that
I
it's the
mean,
Eagles.
I hate to go back to the football for a second, but Pat McAfee called Jason Kelsey the greatest center of all time.
It's
It's hard to argue.
I wouldn't call him the greatest center of all time. There's a couple guys in the Hall of Fame can lay claim to that.
Hmm, I don't know.
Now,
I have no
I
horse in the race, so I don't really care.
to be honest, with you like
I just like
he,
listening to you rant about football.
he's probably the best center of the past decade. If a guy named Travis Frederick retire because of injury, fuck him. That Kelsey that is, fuck him. But it's hard to argue centers, right? Like you want to go tackles, right? Like look at he's probably going to the Hall of Fame next year or the year after. Because that's Joe Thomas.
Yes.
If anybody's going
Played
to
on
argue,
shitty teams.
had a shitty Cleveland Brown team his entire career, but never missed a start and barely gave up ever any sacks.
Yeah.
So I mean, really,
Yeah.
right? Like the next, like it's like Joe Thomas, then Lane Johnson. To be honest, if you want to go by tackles,
Okay.
I mean, you can even argue Russell
I'm
Martin.
I'm cool with that.
You know, like it's hard to
Russell
debate.
Martin or Zach Martin?
Sorry, Zach Martin.
Russell Martin's the baseball player.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Just got on me after I said it. But yeah, I mean, it could go either way. Like center, there's a lot of good centers out there.
Okay. So back to
He
Drew and
won
Seth.
one ring doesn't make him a great center. Just saying. Won one ring.
Sometimes championships don't tell the whole story. But I digress. This match starts with a claymore right off the hop.
Lots of claymores in this match.
It took four of them.
Yeah, a lot. That's a lot.
I
Very
feel
reminiscent of Brock.
well, to be fair, I actually think that Drew excels in these like kind of like video game style signature and finisher move spamming matches,
Yeah,
which is basically all this was for 10 minutes.
yeah.
Was just signature move after finisher after signature move after finisher. I was really surprised Seth kicked out of the second one, let alone the third one.
Yeah, because Drew hit him a few times really good.
Yeah, but that's what I like about the Claymore because like it's one of those moves you can literally hit it out of anyone.
Yeah. I
And
like
like
moves like that.
yeah, I love moves like
Like
you can
like
come out of nowhere with it.
like the one where Seth threw him against the ropes, he just came back and hit him with the claymore.
Yeah, that was the second one.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I was like, boom, like out of nowhere. It's like bang. It's like the
Hmm.
RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
which made that feud back in the pandemic. That's what made that feud really good. Is like you had two guys that could finish a match like that.
yeah,
And but yeah, so Drew finally gets his moment at WrestleMania.
yeah.
And then he did the cocky heel thing and he started.
Hold on. Before we get to that, Drew, who's beating the hell out of Seth Rollins a lot in that match,
Oh, are you gonna
decided to
talk
take the time to tweet
that he
bored
was
at
bored at
work,
work?
LOL.
Oh God. I don't think there's been a tweet that aged so badly so quickly.
It was comical though.
Um,
But anyway, uh, Drew wins, good style. Stand up thing of Seth Rollins. If anybody watched it and watched what Seth Rollins said to him as he got rolled out of the ring, literally looked at Drew and said, "You effing deserve it."
yeah. I as a ex bouncer, full disclosure, I was a bouncer for a couple of years.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I have become very good at lip reading,
Yeah,
and I didn't hear Seth say it, but I could see Seth say it.
yeah.
That
You see
you
what I'm
fucking deserve it, man.
Yeah,
Which is really cool.
it is.
And again, I'm going to talk about Seth in just a moment. because I want to cover what happened next
Mhm.
first.
Mhm.
So Drew is talking down to Punk, and Punk's saying, like, yeah, you did it. Good job, man. Like, why are you in my face?
Yeah, the one thing I get CM Punk there was he was kind of purposely trying to divert it from him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go enjoy your moment. Go. This is for you. Like, you do it.
Yep.
Like,
And
you
then
can't knock him for that.
Drew hit him with the socket right in front of his face.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what pissed him off and doomed him.
And then Punk Drew takes his brace and his coat off, puts the brace back on his hand, smacks Drew with it, and you better learn the words to the other side, baby.
Yeah.
Because here comes Damian Priest to
Oh yeah, Jesus.
finally cash in Money in the Bank, just like I fucking called it. The best
Yeah.
version of this match, the best version of this, best outcome of this match happened.
We
Where
both called this months ago.
where Drew wins, only to have it stolen away from him by Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And I was all the way here for it.
Yep. As long now we haven't seen now. Raw is kind of totally in motion right now, so and Drew hasn't come out yet. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and the kind of reaction
He's
Drew
in like some fatal four way, right? To
is.
determine the next
I
challenger
think I
for
think Drew's
Priest.
gonna win. I think Drew's gonna win that.
Possibly.
But
I think Judgment Day costs him at Backlash, and then they have like a steel cage or something in
yeah,
June at
or
Clash.
Drew's gonna cost him tonight again. Oh, let me see what happens with that. But yeah, Drew loses the title to Damian Priest. Good for Damian Priest. Awesome. Uh,
I think the funniest part of that is
let's just see what
it
happens.
got bisexual Undertaker trending on X
Oh Jesus.
because that's what Damian Priest's nickname amongst the IWC is bisexual Undertaker.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, as
Weird.
I first saw Damian Priest in like 2015,
Mm-hmm.
watching Ring of Honor. Cole left, like Adam Cole left, Matt Bennett left for WWE, and Matt Taven had to recreate the Kingdom. And he brought out two guys, one of which was Vincent, who's still in Impact, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Impact. He might be in AEW. I don't know. I don't know. He's not a very. He's like a cult like. He's like a Charles Manson type character. Um, righteous something.
No, yeah, he's the righteous.
Yeah, thank you. But the other guy was this guy, Punishment Martinez. I'm like this big badass that could fucking move
Mm-hmm.
for 6'7" or whatever the fuck Damian Priest is.
Yeah.
Dude can fly around.
Mm-hmm.
What I do miss that Damian Priest does, maybe he doesn't do it anymore because he's a heel, but he used to do this really cool, this cool flip where he'd come off the second rope and do like tope,
Mm-hmm.
a tope flip over the top.
Nice.
But watching him evolve from there and the last 6 years and 5.5 years in WWE
Yeah.
through NXT, coming up to the main roster through the pandemic. And you know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
And kudos to Edge because, and I say this because Edge, Edge's original vision for the Judgment Day was he wanted to elevate Rhea and Damien. Those were the two people he wanted to elevate.
He had a hand to play in that. Don't knock us out. No, he definitely had a hand to play in that.
Yeah.
If he didn't put them in the Judgment Day and have been left the Judgment Day and they take off,
Mm-hmm.
they never we would be talking about doing Beach right now.
Right. And look at it now. Rhea's the top woman in North America.
Has been for the past couple of years now.
Yeah. I will only say in North America because I think the talent in Stardom in Japan is head and shoulders better than any woman's talent in WWE.
Speaking of Stardom,
Oh,
I know
oh
you
yeah,
didn't watch
Julia.
NXT. Julia was announced and is now in NXT from what I can gather. So basically see what happens with Julia. Apparently one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet.
She is insane.
So
She's
basically,
insane.
maybe see what happens with that. Moving forward, Final Testament versus the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
And what the fuck? Bubba Ray Dudley was the referee.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of just one of those matches that was like there to fill time.
It was a plunder match. I mean,
Yeah,
and actually Cross did a hell of a promo online after the match.
yeah, they really beat up Cross. I don't understand the whole David Cross. They sort of carrying Cross name. I just don't get it. Like I liked them in NXT,
Hmm.
and they just kind of I feel they kind of just squandered him on the main roster.
Well, you see, um, Cross, his game is all psychological.
Yeah,
He may not always win the where was I again?
oh Cross.
Right. So yeah, Cross's game is psychological.
Yeah,
And leading up to the debut of the Final Testament, he explained all this,
yeah,
right? So even so, he was saying in this promo, it's hilarious how Bobby Lashley finally got on the card after missing last year,
yeah.
only to be overshadowed by Montez Ford. And he's still just sowing the
You
seeds
saw
of
the seeds of that for it to be a shit show.
exactly.
Uh, it was what it was. Lashley, the Profits won. Moving on though to AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Now you mentioned earlier that if a good guy wins, it kind of ends the column is the story. I don't think this is going to end between AJ Styles and LA Knight. I think this is going to move forward into Backlash as well.
I don't know. I mean, LA Knight beat him quite decisively.
Yeah. By the way, AJ Styles music was quite awesome. The new one was awesome.
I gotta actually have a listen to it when it releases on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I will always be impartial to his original music and TNA.
yeah,
But
actually,
that's me though.
he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet
Yeah.
over the weekend that hasn't
Yes.
been released yet.
I thought actually no, I saw it on YouTube. It's on there.
Oh, it is on there. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that he hates that song,
What
and
the,
he hopes he
original?
he hopes he never hears it again.
Original?
Yeah, and
Nah.
it's only because that think about it. You listen to the exact same song multiple times a week, every week for 11 years.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. That's why there's some songs. Hell, I love Metallica, but even sometimes I'll put them down for months because I won't listen to them because I have listened to so much Metallica in my life that I sometimes I just don't. Go a better example. Nirvana's Nevermind album. I killed that album. I can't listen to anything on that album anymore.
I
They
can't stand Nirvana.
all the songs annoy me on that now. Because
Fun fact about me, I cannot stand Kurt Cobain's voice.
you know what? You were very young. In fact, you were probably just came out of the womb.
When that album came out, yeah, I was still an
And I
infant.
was 91.
I might not have even been born yet.
Yeah. See, so for me, Nirvana it holds a different space in my heart just because it was definitely a big time with the grunge and when Kurt Cobain died in 94, which by the way, we just passed the day of his death. He's been gone since 94.
You want to hear my music hot take?
Okay. Nirvana, you don't like him?
Nirvana probably would have fizzled out if Cobain didn't kill himself. But because he killed himself basically when they were in their prime, and the catalog that they put out while they were together is why they're still so beloved.
If Kurt Cobain, well, let's put it this way. If Kurt Cobain didn't pass, I don't think you would have gotten the Foo Fighters. Who,
No,
to be
you're
honest,
right.
you, and to be honest, you, whether people want to admit this or not, became a bigger band than Nirvana ever did.
Hands down.
And that's just cardinal too. That I know there's a lot of people out there who are Nirvana fans, and I'm a Nirvana fan too. I grew up on the stuff. Okay. But even I'll sit there and tell you, Foo Fighters became a bigger band, sold more tours, made more money than Dave Grohl ever did with Nirvana.
Well, and even so, Dave Grohl got bored of Foo Fighters, went and did Queens of the Stone Age.
Played drums. Yeah, he went back and played drums for Queen of the Stone Age for a couple tours.
Yeah.
You know? Like
And
every
that's
so
it. Like,
quick side note here, just before we get back to this, because we're getting side note tracked in here. Do you ever see Dave Grohl just do storytellers and all of a sudden just all of a sudden sit behind a drum set, start playing Smell Like Teen Spirit on the drums?
mm-hmm.
Fucking really cool.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Grohl is like kind of a jack of all trades
Oh yeah.
when it comes to music. He's got a great voice, and he can play just about every instrument you can think of.
Yeah.
But and I love Dave Grohl.
He's a
Oh,
talented dude. Actually, I've been meaning to pick up his book, Storyteller. Apparently it's a very good read.
yeah, maybe I'll check it out one of these days.
You know what? I'll
Uh,
get it. I'll read it. I'll give it to you. Let you borrow it, but you won't read it anyway because you don't read enough.
it's fair. I did a lot of pre. Oh, okay. So
Right.
yeah, um, after yeah, so Knight beats AJ. It was it was clean. What can you do?
I figured eight. You know what? I said Agent didn't need the win. LA Knight won. Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure it's going to continue on the line though. I don't think it's the end of it. After that, we got to the triple threat U.S. title match.
This is a really good match.
It was a really good match, and I don't think any of us saw Logan Paul winning.
No,
I like just looking through anything at all. I don't think I saw one person take Logan Paul to win this.
um,
I took Kevin. I know you took Randy.
I have a question for the class.
Sure,
Who the fuck is I Show Speed?
I have no idea, but I'm glad. But that RKO he took on that table was hard. Like it wasn't even like a fun looking one. It was just dropped.
That was a thud.
Yeah, it was like out. And apparently he tweeted later like, "Wrestling's real. I'm really hurt right now."
Mm-hmm.
Like Randy took him like Randy nobody does right. He'll do like the whole he'll jump up, right? And like he'll almost like bring it down, right? So give you time to cushion, right? He just took him and just went bam. Like didn't even like
Well,
just
that's because
jerked it
this.
right down.
So, by the way, you missed the best part. Okay,
They
when it
kicked his
was
stomach.
when it was revealed that it was Mr. Speed,
Yeah.
he started barking at Randy Orton,
Yeah.
to which Orton responded with a Sparta kick.
Well, first he said, I have no beef with you, then kicked him.
Yeah, to which Randy Orton turned around and barked in Speed's face
Yeah.
before he dropped his ass.
Oh, he dropped him hard. Jesus.
Um, but yeah, um,
Uh
some cool spots. I mean, Orton countered the pop-up power bomb into an RKO.
yeah, apparently Logan Paul's thing is just use brass knucks all the time now.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing now.
That's a thing now. Like, almost every match he's in, he uses brass knucks. It's kind of irritating actually.
It must have been passed down.
But it's his gimmick,
It must have been passed down to him by William Regal.
probably.
So we move on to Bailey and Io Sky.
Yeah.
Um, and everyone and their mother knew Bailey was winning this. And
I feel a lot of people don't know who EO Sky is.
pardon me,
I feel a lot of people do not know who EO Sky is.
I don't think people understand how good Io Sky is.
That true.
Period.
That too.
Um, I I didn't hate this match. I didn't love this match. Um,
It was kind of just there for me.
yeah. I mean, Bailey won with the rose plant.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, good for her. I mean, it's kind of cool. They were kind of treating this like it was her first.
Yeah.
instead of her third or fourth
Well,
world title.
her last world title was the first world title since the pandemic.
Yeah.
People seem to forget that she had a hell of a long title reign during the pandemic.
No, I know for sure.
So,
Um, yeah. Uh, good for Bailey. Kind
yeah,
of dug the Egyptian entrance thing.
that was kind of weird.
Yeah, but now it's time to talk about the thing that everybody has been talking about for the last 24 hours.
Yeah, let's talk
Because
about this thing.
actually, as we're recording this, the match would have ended 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
It is the biggest rematch of all time. Never mind Cena and The Rock.
No, that was yeah, that wasn't really the biggest rematch at all, actually. That was kind of a match everybody's like, oh,
Yeah, well, they lied about the once in a lifetime thing. But
Vince McMahon.
you know, yeah, Cody and Roman part two. A lot of stakes attached to this. Cody, crazy ass entrance with
Really
his
bitch,
right
really bitchin' mask.
bitchin' mask, with his bitchin' wife. I mean,
She's very attractive,
very.
especially her having
Uh,
a kid.
yeah. Well, anyways, so yeah, Cody might be the biggest star I've seen since The Rock because business was down during Cena years.
Yeah,
Cena's run on top, and even so, Cena wasn't getting reactions like Cody does.
no, John's was on top for a number of years, but when you
Hmm.
look at what the numbers are through merchandise sales, revenue,
Yeah,
right? It went Austin Rock era, even Triple H era, Undertaker.
yeah,
Right? Then it goes to that lull of John Cena, right? Which John's great. Like John did a lot of stuff. Like you look at the stuff he's done with Make a Wish, all that things. Like probably one of the most stand up dudes on the planet.
yeah.
Um, Probably one of the nicest guys too, and one of the guys who really,
Absolutely.
really did a hell of a good
I
job.
I am taking nothing away from John Cena
But when you look at the
in
overall
saying that.
money and numbers,
And they tried with Roman Reigns on top, but even so, business was still kind of down.
well, the Roman stuff was kind of forced, right?
Right.
And that was forced.
But you can truly say since 2021 that we have witnessed what they like to call another boom period in the industry.
I'd say that boom period in the industry. Well, you know what? It started booming a lot more when AEW first came back, when it first came out.
Sure, yeah, competition makes everybody stronger.
Yeah. But it wasn't until 2021, 2022
Once crowds started coming back to full capacity.
when you start seeing it too. And you start, Cody moves in 2022 to
And it's
WWE.
in large part thanks to Roman Reigns and the bloodline,
Mm-hmm.
everything that they've done,
Mm-hmm.
this 4 year epic story
Mm-hmm.
that they've told. Um, and by the way, Roman Reigns might have had the greatest entrance of all time. I don't think that's even hyperbole. The way that I think it was a school choir or a school
Mm-hmm.
band played his entrance like live, and just the aura, and you pretty much knowing This was the last walk that he was going to make with the championship.
There's some doubt, maybe in some people's minds that he wasn't gonna, that he was gonna walk out with a title, but for the most part, yeah.
This might have been the greatest wrestling entrance I've ever seen.
The match started off very well too. It started off without really any kind of bloodline rules, but then it slowly started working towards that bloodline rules.
Honestly, the first, like you can talk about this match in about 3 chapters.
Yeah.
The beginning, they
Mhm.
they go outside the ring, like they even go into the crowd for a little bit.
Yeah.
Roman hits a power bomb on Cody through the table.
Mhm.
Chapter 2 is like basically everything leading up to Jimmy's interference.
Yeah.
What followed after Jimmy's interference is the craziest 10 minutes I've ever seen in wrestling, ever.
All right. How many people were sat there going when the Shields Sierra Hotel India the Echo Lima Delta went off? It feels like going, is John here?
You know what?
Some people probably did. Some people probably like, did John?
I saw a lot of that online today, dude.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that online. Like people were like, oh, pardon me.
Like if he would have been there with the in the Shield gimmick, that would have been fantastic. Like that would have put a cherry on the top.
Right. But let's kind of go through this in sequential order because
Mhm.
I kind of enjoyed how this played out.
Yeah.
Cody's endgame was to hit 3 crossroads consecutively.
Yeah.
He hits one. He goes to the second one and gets super kicked by Jimmy.
Yeah.
Out comes Jay. After Roman hits a Superman punch, of course. Out comes Jay. Jay ends up spearing Jimmy off the ramp.
Yeah.
And we did mention during this, Raw's kind of currently going the main event right now. Jey Uso's taped up
Yeah.
heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Took a hell of a fall.
Cody somehow kicks out, comes back, hits 2 crossroads, and before he hits the third,
Mhm.
Solo comes in, hits a spike.
Yeah.
And this is this is probably like I felt like I was 7, 8 years old again. Because I mean, Solo hits the spike, pulls Roman on top, Cody kicks out.
Yeah.
They do the spear spike combo. Cody kicks out.
Then
And then Cena comes. As soon as Cena comes, I sent you one GIF. Can you tell our wonderful audience what that GIF was?
I just go back and take a look at my thing.
But
Avengers Assemble.
right. Because this was when I still thought that, like, I guess everybody thought because the Rock connection that Austin was going to be the guy. But
There was a lot of people who thought that, yeah.
when I explain what happened next, I'll explain why
Yeah.
that guy fit better.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, probably a good idea how why.
so Cena comes in, knocks Solo out of the ring, delivers an AA to Roman, then goes on the outside and AA Solo through the Spanish announce table,
Yeah.
which prompted The Rock, the final boss, to come in.
Yeah.
Tear down with Cena. Cena goes to take a swing. Boom, rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right as The Rock's about to whip Cody, we hear that infamous gong.
Yeah.
The lights go out, and the lights come back on. It's The Undertaker standing behind The Rock.
Non-dead man gimmick too, just for the record. Non-dead man gimmick.
I mean, Taker explained that he'll never wear the hat and coat again.
Yeah, it basically biker
Which,
Taker.
by the way, on the subject of the Undertaker, go check out his new podcast, 6 Feet Under,
I think it's pretty
um,
good.
on YouTube, and you can also find it on Podbean.
I think it's pretty good.
It is. I've listened to a couple episodes. Um,
Oh, it's on Podbean?
it is on Podbean,
Oh,
yes.
perfect. I get to look at that.
But the reason why the Undertaker fits
Yeah,
instead of Austin,
because he's connected with Roman Reigns.
exactly. So Undertaker lost in the main event to Roman Reigns
How
seven
long
years
ago was
ago.
that now? 7 years ago?
7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago. And that's why Undertaker fit better than Austin. The only reason Austin would have fit in this at all is
Rock.
his connection to The Rock.
Yeah.
But when you look at bigger the bigger story of this, it's about Roman and Cody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Anyways, Undertaker. Oh, actually, I did kind of go out of order here because The Rock was standing all alone after taking out Cena. Then we hear the Shield music,
Yeah.
which prompted Seth Rollins, who gets immediately intercepted by Roman
Yeah.
Reigns
Immediately
with
dropped.
a Superman punch. And I'll get to Seth Rollins. Actually,
Mm.
let me just because the end's coming here. Okay, Seth comes in, eats the Superman punch,
Yeah.
and Taker comes in, choke slams The Rock. Taker disappears.
Yeah.
All that's left in the ring is Cody, Roman, Seth,
And a
a
belt.
steel chair, and the Mama Rhodes belt.
Yeah.
Roman gets up first. He grabs the chair,
Yeah.
and both Cody and Seth are getting up.
Oh, he cracked him.
And this is the masterpiece of storytelling that they have been doing for years. And this is why it is a great time to come back to wrestling. This angle, this WrestleMania, has brought my brother back to
Yeah.
wrestling after not watching for many years.
Yeah.
And Roman had a decision. He could take out Cody, try and finish the match, but he saw Seth
Mm.
in the Shield gear, and he just couldn't let it go.
Nope.
And you all remember Seth
Yep.
explaining to Cody, it's all Seth's fault that Roman's like this.
Yeah. And literally, they mentioned that too after he cracked him.
And boy, did Roman crack Seth.
Yeah.
And
Very reminiscent.
everything coming full circle 10 years later.
Yeah.
Actually, we're about 2 months away from like the day that happened.
Yeah.
But Roman hits Seth, sets up in the corner, for the spear.
No.
Cody kicks him. He hits one crossroad. He hits two crossroads. He hit the third crossroad. And Charles Robinson counts three.
Yeah.
That oh my God. I'm sorry. I know we're doing this kind of recording, but I'm watching Raw and just watch Ricochet do a springboard 450 through the announce table
Yeah.
to Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Uh, you guys will hear a Raw review after this episode goes up.
Yeah.
But is this I know kind of recency bias, but is this the greatest WrestleMania match of all time? In terms of story, in terms of even the stuff that went on in the ring.
It's probably the best. It's probably the best long-term storytelling the WWE has ever done.
Period.
right? As far as the best, it's very hard to judge what the best match is at WrestleMania. Now, we'll get over on the Raw review because what was said in the beginning of Raw, but to say it's the best WrestleMania match is very hard because there is a lot of classic main events that are very, very in WWE lore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like off the top of my head, I could think you WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan, arguably considered one of the best matches of all time. And it's not because of what it was, because of what the story was between the two and how big it was. Um, and you have Austin versus Rock, not from WrestleMania 15, but from 17. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that was a huge thing too. Right. Then you have Cena versus Rock. You know, the first one, not the second one.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say which is the best one. I mean, Brock versus Angle was a hell of a good story and a hell of a good match, despite what happened.
So when I think of the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, my go-to is always Hell in a Cell, Triple H, Undertaker,
Yeah.
because that's a 45-minute piece of masterpiece storytelling. And I still think that this even tops that because this culminates a really, when you think about it, a 10-year story
Mm-hmm.
that started with Seth turning on Roman
Yeah.
and Moxley in June of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this bell to bell, probably a top three WrestleMania.
Over the past 10 years, it's probably one of the top WrestleMania matches. All time, probably not. But it's probably in the top five.
I can I can take top five.
Probably top five of all. If you go for 40 years, number one is probably, if you want to go, if you want to go 40 years, number one is probably the moment Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. That's probably number one.
But
Because
as a
it's
match, listen, everyone remembers that moment. But if you go back and watch that match is fucking shit.
yeah. But at the time, it was so big.
Yeah, back
Because
in
at the time,
1980s,
because Andre the Giant at the time was never really slammed or any of those things. It was
except
unheard of.
except he was, and there's footage of it.
Yes, but at the time, that's kind of what they were going by. But
I
that's
know
kind of
that
what it
that was
was.
the story they were going with, but
Yes.
like literally, there's footage that exists that that's not the case actually.
Who cares?
And it wasn't, and Hogan, that wasn't even the first time Hogan did it to Andre.
No. But
Hogan did it to Andre in AWA.
but it was about those matches, right? In WWE lore,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you want to talk top five, it's hard to say. It's hard to say top five. But I'm telling you right now, that top five is probably we'll say Cody Roman, Austin Rock, Andre Hogan.
17, just so we're clear.
Yeah, 17, right? You probably go Austin. No, it's not Austin. Um, Hogan Warrior.
Okay.
I mean, you could even throw in there Rock versus Hogan in Toronto,
Okay.
even though that wasn't the main event. That wasn't the last match.
I'm not even talking about main events, dude. I'm talking about like literally
Okay.
all time.
Well, you gotta throw in probably Savage versus Steamboat,
Okay.
right?
Here's the way I look at it.
Like it's a debatable five.
No, no, of course. And a conversation like this is very subjective,
Yeah.
and like you're gonna have a different answer depending on
And
who you talk
and I'll
to.
be honest, I'm just kind of just ranting them off my head. About
That's fine. My For me personally, I have Cody Roman as probably number three. My number two is probably Michaels and Taker from 25.
this, which
Like,
is by many considered the best match.
right. I also, and like I just mentioned, 28, the Hell in a Cell is my go-to number one, my favorite WrestleMania match. After those three, I have probably Steamboat Savage and,
Hmm.
like you said, probably Rock Austin 17.
Yeah,
But, but yeah, like I, as a fan, I don't remember the last time that I feel this fulfilled. I feel like the time that I've invested watching this story develop over the last 2 years,
yeah,
I feel like the time that I've put in was finally rewarded,
fair enough.
which is something that under the old regime, you probably couldn't say.
Hmm.
You know, look at how stubborn they were to pull the trigger on Daniel Bryan.
Fair enough.
Look at how stubborn they were to turn Roman Reigns heel,
Yeah.
you know? And I literally spent about 4.5 hours today scrolling through socials, looking at reactions. And,
Hmm.
I was on TikTok for a good like 2 hours today.
Okay.
And I was on X and I was just scrolling through and it all was like, we finally feel like it was like a moment for all of us.
Hmm.
Cody finishing the story.
Hmm.
Because to me, what Cody represents is the everyday guy. He's not particularly tall. He's not chiseled out of granite.
Hmm.
You know, he's built, he's lean, but I mean, he looks like one of us.
Hmm.
He's a guy you can relate to. And that's my take on Cody.
He's
Two
this.
things.
He's this generation's version of Stone Cold. Minus all the swearing and all that other stuff.
PG street.
Fair,
Fair.
because if you look at it, that's exactly what you just said.
Right.
Everything that Stone Cold was in the Attitude Era for a lot of people, that's exactly what Cody is now.
Two things before we get out of here.
And I'm gonna take us
One,
out tonight.
yeah, you could take us out tonight.
Damn right.
Okay. Seth Rollins, that dude needs time off. Okay.
Think he's taking it.
He came in to the world heavyweight title match with his back all taped up. And he needed help going to the back after Cody won.
Mhm.
Like Kevin Owens was holding him up when they shared that moment where they shook hands
Yeah,
at the end. And kudos to Seth Rollins.
absolutely.
He played his part in this story perfectly.
He needs the time off. He deserves time off. I expect to see him till SummerSlam.
And now I ask you the one question that's probably on most people's minds.
Okay.
What's next for Roman Reigns?
I don't think you see Roman for a while. I think Roman's gone for a while. I think Roman takes time to just assess everything, see what goes on. There has been talk, it was brought up at the press conference about his leukemia.
He said he's in remission, but
He
he
says
still
he's in
ta- he
remission,
still
but
takes
and that's fine.
he takes oral chemotherapy, and that
Yeah.
was only stemming from something that Pat McAfee said on
Okay.
commentary.
Okay. So I still think he takes time off. I think he takes assess everything and goes on. Time will tell what happens with Roman Reigns. I expect him back at some point. My guess is SummerSlam, if not the Rumble.
Okay, that's
But
fair.
on that note,
Can we just one time we acknowledge the tribal chief
we always acknowledge Tribal Chief on here.
for the for the near 4 years of perfection.
We acknowledge the tribal chief.
Andrew,
That
take us.
that being said, check us out the podcast on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and all other major podcast sites other than Apple because they apparently don't like two white guys from Canada.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
I know it has nothing to do with that. I just want to say that because it's been a prick thing to say. Any of that, right? Socials, D Lions, Twitter, Andrew on Twitter, DA Wrestling also on Twitter, DA Wrestling on Instagram. Guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe down below. Have yourself a wonderful evening. This was the WrestleMania review. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a long one. And the Raw review is coming up very, very soon. Doug, anything else
Catch
to
you
say
guys
before you
down the
go?
road.
Absolutely. How's up? Good night, everybody. Enjoy this year's rest of this new year of wrestling through WWE's eyes. New era.
Time for the new era.
Have a good one. Later.